Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I have gotten so many requests to do a homeschool room tour, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do for you today. Just know that having a designated homeschool room is not necessary. We just got lucky because we had a garage converted room that we turned into the homeschool room, but honestly, just your dining room table is enough. Also, everything I'm going to be showing you in here pretty much is linked to my Amazon page if it's something that came from Amazon, and you can check all that out in the notes below. If you don't already know me, my name is Jessica. I was a public school teacher, now turned homeschool mom to 3 daughters with a 4th on the way. And here on this channel, we discuss all things homeschooling, from curriculum to scheduling to encouragement for other homeschooling moms. So let's get started with this tour. So when you first walk in the room, the very first thing you see is what I consider like their art station. So we have their little spinning art supplies, which I highly recommend. That is from Amazon. And then all these drawers are filled with different things they would need for either art projects or crafts, something like that. So you can see they've got their construction paper. I just recently organized it. Usually doesn't look this nice. We've got their stencils in there. And then they've got, this is their finished drawer, right? So when they actually draw something, they can put it in there. I highly recommend having a finished drawer because I hate to say it, but for how many times my kids draw me like a cute little picture like this, like, I'm sorry, what am I going to do with it? I don't have room for all this. So they put it in the finished drawer and they think that like I do something with it. Like they think I take the work out of the finished drawer and like put it somewhere. The truth is a lot of times I just throw it out. But if it's something special, of course, we'll keep it. Down below, we've just got some other craft supplies. They've got their stamp drawer. Again, we really just try to organize it to keep it easy for the little one. I do have a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And then we've got some of the learning posters up there. Again, all these things are from Amazon. Now, this is their baby doll section. Let me just tell you, this was a hot mess as of 3 days ago. This used to be a toy box, and it was filled with stuffed animals, baby dolls, clothing, bottles, anything to do with the baby doll. We got rid of it all, and we just minimized down to one little bin with the carriage. Then as we make our way over here, this is one of my most prized areas. This used to just be a closet that we used for storage. I had my husband take the doors off. We got those shelves from Target, and what I really like about these shelves is you have control over the spacing. So like I could space it out to where I had the big wide shelves for my binders and my tall things, smaller shelves up there for games, and then the bottom 3 shelves, of course, are for books. The way that I had it set up in my mind is that those bottom shelves, they have free access. So this is kind of like our little library area here. Got that rug from Amazon too, that you just throw in the washing machine. It's super flexible and we love it. So the bottom shelves are just free access. As you can see, they're constantly pulling out books. It's a hot mess most of the time. But the upper 3 shelves are for curriculum and supplies that I'm personally pulling down during the homeschool day. These are little center activities that I usually have set up on their little art table over there for my younger 2. This is a lot of portfolio stuff here in the state of Florida. We do have to do a yearly portfolio check. So I've got a lot of their workbooks and stuff in binders. This is our math shelf. So we've got our Math UC blocks, we've got manipulatives, clock stuff, anything to do with math. Then as we move over, we've got more curriculum. So I try to keep it organized. That's like the pre-K curriculum over there. This is all my daughter's Christian Light units that she has finished. And then what I love about this shelf is that I've got my big rectangle square for my tall stuff, but I actually bought a separate little shelf so that I could fit things underneath. So these little bins that I got from Target, I believe, for cheap from the dollar section. These have small manipulatives, so like your dice and flashcards, things like that. We keep our rulers in here, just small things that really didn't have a home. And moving down, this is more like manipulatives and games. So you can see we have our abacus, we've got some games that I usually pull out. These are things that we do together as a family. So like the fidget game, I do have videos on that game. That's a really, really fun educational game. We've got our bingo games, our hot dots. Highly recommend these as well. Sight word SWAT game there. So this is more like group activities. And we move up to the puzzle shelf. This is always a source of anxiety for me, but I try to keep like the smaller puzzle stuff up there. Our little human body guy that fell down. These used to be stacked up nicely on the days that I have center time as puzzles. I will personally pull down the puzzles that I want them working on so that they don't have access to this shelf because it just gets too messy. Then we have our science shelf, I guess you would call. So we have like a lot of our scavenger hunts, flower books, things that have to do with any of the science work that we're doing. The top, of course, is storage and holiday books. So I do not keep the holiday books down there because I like to have those separate. It makes it really exciting when a holiday does come and I get to pull down the Christmas box or the Halloween box and it's books that they haven't seen in a whole year. Also, I have these like little hooks kind of hanging everywhere. This is a sight word ring that we made. Didn't really have a home for it, so we just stuck it on one of these strips. Same thing over here. I do a lot of like tacks. And then this actually is a piece of yarn with a bunch of clothespins on it. Now, it is really tangled right now, but the whole purpose of this is that it usually stretches out really nicely all the way to that command hook there. And then we use this to hang up, like if we have art that's drying, we'll clip it to here and it'll dry. Or we have like little timeline cards that go with our classical conversations curriculum that we hang. We'll like put the timeline in order on the clips. Then we have our magnetic door. This actually leads to the garage and it's magnetic, which I absolutely love. So a lot of these things are from Amazon as well. This is actually underneath this. That's a magnetic whiteboard. It was super, super cheap. That was our main whiteboard for a while before we got our big one. It's funny, this has actually become where my girls play school. So you can see my 7-year-old actually hung up like letter A papers that she does with her dolls, which is super cute. I also keep the whiteboard markers up there to where the 2-year-old can't get to them. All right, and then we move down to like, I don't know, I guess the imaginative play area, right? So they've got their little cleaning supplies there. They've got their full kitchen. They spend a lot of time in this kitchen area. This is also a source of my anxiety a lot of times because they never put it back properly. And it's like we keep the food up here. We try to keep the little plates and bowls and things in there, but it's just always a hot mess. It's not bad today because I had them clean it before this video, but usually it's a hot mess. And then we've got all of our learning posters. Now, when I was a teacher, a lot of these posters were posters that I took from my classroom that I had purchased from Amazon when I was teaching. But we've got our letter line up there at the top, and then we have our posters going down. Honestly, I don't even know how much they use these. This is what I'm saying. It's totally not necessary. I know it looks pretty, not necessary though. Then this bin is actually curriculum. So this bin and this 3-cart thing is our curriculum area. So the red bin is mostly math curriculum. So we've got our Horizons, which we supplement with. We've got our Math UC. I've got whiteboards in here. I've got sheet protectors with math stuff in it. We've got our math flashcards over here. So when it's math time, I know like this is my area. I do like having the map down low because we do refer to this map a lot. So I used to be up high. I moved that down for the kids. And then we have our 3 little drawer rolly thing, which I love. I actually put a book bin in the top of this, and this is where I pull from for our main curriculum every single day. So here's our schedule. And if you don't already have this, I made this schedule. It's completely editable. It's just something I did on Canva, but I also have it in PowerPoint form, and I have it totally free on my website. You just click on my website, you type in your email, and it automatically sends you a blank template of this. It does add you to my email list, but you can just get the freebie and then unsubscribe if you want. But I always keep this in the front of the bin because actually my 7-year-old is getting old enough now where sometimes I'll say, hey, can you go grab the schedule and tell me what game your little sister is supposed to be doing on the iPad this morning? And so she can actually get it and look for me, and I don't have to come all the way in here and get it. And then the main curriculum that we use daily is all in here. So we've got like our Christian Light education stuff, her cursive book. We do have some random stuff in here too because I really need to clean it out, but we've got our little preschool books here, art books, a Becca work, and then of course some random stuff. Now, it's also important to remember that I am a working homeschool mom. So not only is this room our homeschool room, but it's also my work area. You could call it my office, I guess. And it's also my studio where I record all my videos. This corner over here is kind of like mommy's corner. You can see I have my laptop here. This is where I teach from. So when I'm teaching on OutSchool, I teach reading and vocabulary classes to students online. That is my backdrop. But this is also where my 7-year-old does her online Abeka work. So we do use Abeka for a couple of subjects, and it does have an online component where she watches videos before she does her activity in her book. Sometimes this area gets a little crazy, especially if she has like snacks and drinks and everything, and she's got it on the shelf behind her. This is also where I store a lot of things. Like, this is curriculum that I don't want them touching. That's really good art paper that I don't want them touching. It's a cool sand activity that I know if they had access to, it would go all over the place, so I keep it up there. And honestly, everything else is really just for aesthetics. These are all chapter books that I took from when I left teaching. A couple pictures, my little sign for when I teach online. That little organizer, absolutely love that. That is from Amazon. I tried out so many and returned them, and that is the best one. And then these are important books. I've got my degree over there just to look fancy for when I'm teaching. Of course, our Charlotte Mason book. Highly recommend that if you haven't read that already. Then we move over to my least favorite area of the room. This is like the catch-all area, and I can't stand it. I try to avoid this in all of my videos. Barbie bin filled with Barbies and clothes and shoes. Oh my goodness, usually this whole area is just filled with Barbies. This is the dress up bin. I tell myself all the time that I'm just gonna trash all of this. I cannot stand it. They never hang things up properly. There are so many components in that bin up there that just kind of get thrown in there. This is all usually spread out all over the floor as well, but I haven't had the heart to actually do away with it because I know that the imaginative play is so important at these young ages. So honestly, you just deal with it. This I just recently cleaned out. It used to be nothing but random crap. And I'm talking like the McDonald's toys and like all the little things that they pick up from God knows where, but I'm trying to really be intentional. So Magnetiles only, wooden blocks only. That's kind of a random catch-all bin. Then we've got a train set down there, kind of like a random catch-all bin. And then down there is instruments. I know it looks messy, but it's like wooden instruments, xylophones, maracas, like good stuff. And then little stacking blocks. So I'm trying to be more intentional with this and not allow like these random little McDonald's toys going in there. So then we keep going as we turn around. Remember, this was a garage at one point, and so we blocked that door off. They converted this into like a fourth bedroom. I do have a TV in here for them, and I do have a Fire Stick attached to that. However, this is not like a free-for-all. This is a TV that we use for YouTube for the learning videos, which is nice because our learning table is right here. And then, like, let's say we're learning about Memorial Day or whatever. I can just pull up YouTube real quick and pull up a Memorial Day video. Then I have our calendar posters up there. Our calendar used to be closer, so it kind of made more sense. But this is where we do calendar, which I'll get to that part. Printer, of course. And then this, kind of like those shelves, I am trying to be more intentional with. It used to just be like a free-for-all, just crap all over the place, but I'm trying to be better about it. Little DVDs and stuff, which honestly they might even use. This is balls, so basketballs, little tennis balls, things for outside. These are light up tracing boards and like Magnadoodle type things. We pull from this shelf a lot when we do handwriting. So if they don't want to just use paper and pencil, they'll like Magnadoodle type boards. Lincoln Logs, and this little farm set that I keep saying we're going to throw away, but my 2-year-old keeps coming back to it, so we're keeping it for now. And then we have the Lego shelf, of course. They just recently started getting into Legos, so we've got Legos, Legos, Legos. Karaoke machine that we need to throw away, and then this is a doctor kit. So again, imaginative play, I'm keeping that. And then we get into like where the real learning takes place, right? So this is a whiteboard that is from Amazon, actually. I bought it for my classroom when I was a teacher. Isn't that sad? I actually had to buy a whiteboard for my classroom. It's true, teachers really do have to buy things for their classroom. So anyways, this is obviously where we do the calendar. I have the days of the week, and then we are practicing cursive these days. So I bought these strips from Amazon. They're handwriting strips. They're just magnetic. So I can actually show her how the letters are formed up there. We usually practice writing our date up there, and then this bottom area is usually for me and my 4-year-old to do some work on. And most recently, we just got this amazing art table. This is from Amazon, and it is always on sale. It's from this company called Vevor, I don't want to say it wrong. I don't know. It's right there. It's on my Amazon. And this paper roll actually rolls out and goes under this little weight here, and then you just can pull it and tear it to give them a new sheet. We do have 2 other chairs. We usually will pull it away from the wall when we want all 4 chairs. But it has the storage in it. So you have your little shelves on top, and you have shelves back there. So this is nice. I keep this next to the art bin so they can just like grab their markers or whatever and come over here, or paper, whatever they need. And then last but not least, of course, we have like where our main learning takes place. So this is like what we call our learning table. So we have the art table and we have the learning table. So a lot of times I'll be working with my 7-year-old here, and then I'll have my 4-year-old and 2-year-old over here doing something. Or if my 7-year-old's over on the computer doing her online work, I'll be at the table with my younger 2. This table came from a garage sale, honestly, and the chairs too. So it looks like a legit classroom, but it really just came from a garage sale. Now, here's what I mean when I say like none of this is necessary. And the irony of me just taking the time to give you this grand tour of our giant homeschool space is that we are actually in the process of downsizing. We have finally made the decision to up and leave and go start a homestead. So whether that means we end up living in an RV on a plot of land somewhere, or we get like a small modular home on some acreage, either way, the chances of us having a designated homeschool space in the new place is slim to none. I do have dreams of my husband like building me like a shed out on the property somewhere. That would be our designated homeschool room. Like we could get electricity wired to it, have air conditioning, and like leave the house to go to school. I have ideas of that, but truthfully, it's probably just gonna be our dining room table, which is perfectly fine. Like I said, all the things you see here, the posters on the wall, the millions of games and activities that we have on these shelves, very little of them are actually used. My kids like to play with rocks. They like to draw pictures on paper. They don't really care about the stamps and the paints and the fancy stuff right now. And most of all, they like to read books. So the one non-negotiable with us downsizing and moving away is the books are going with us. Like everything else can go, but the books are coming. I'm very curious to know if any of you homeschooling parents watching this have your own homeschool spaces. So let me know in the comments below if, like me, you have a space like this where hardly anything gets used. If you have any questions about anything specific that I showed you here today, again, just let me know in the comments. I always respond. Also, don't forget to, if you're not already following me on TikTok and Instagram, I do give like mini tours during my lives. A lot of people request to see my homeschool room while I'm doing my TikTok and Instagram live, so you can check me out there as well. And stay tuned for our downsizing homesteading journey, and I will see you back soon. Happy homeschooling.